There is a very different feeling around Alex Eala right now. 2 years ago, Elena-Gabriela Ruse was the player standing between Eala and a historic Grand Slam breakthrough. Today, that same opponent is waiting for her again, this time inside the Cincinnati Open, a WTA 1000 event with more than $7.4 million in total prize money. But the circumstances could not be more different. Eala is no longer the teenager chasing an opportunity. She arrives as a 21-year-old WTA champion, a top 20 player, and one of the most compelling stories in women's tennis. And before we get into why this rematch matters so much, welcome to the channel. If you follow Alex Eala, the WTA Tour, and the biggest stories shaping women's tennis, make sure you stay with us because there is a lot to unpack here. Cincinnati is not simply another tournament on Eala's schedule. It is her latest test after a summer that has already changed the trajectory of her career, and Ruse brings a history that makes this opening round storyline even more interesting. The key fact right now is simple. Eala and Ruse are set to meet in the second round of the Cincinnati Open. The match is scheduled as part of the tournament's 2026 draw, with Cincinnati being played on outdoor hard courts at the Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio. The event runs from August 13 through August 23 and features a 96-player singles draw. For Eala, it is another chance to prove that the remarkable run through Washington was not a one-week story. That Washington run changed everything. Eala became the first player from the Philippines to win a WTA Tour level singles title when she defeated Jessica Pegula in the final of the DC Open. It was not an easy championship match. Pegula took the opening set 6-4, but Eala recovered, won the second 6-4, and then produced a remarkable 6-0 third set. The victory gave Eala her first WTA title and pushed her career ranking to a new high of number 20. That is the player now arriving in Cincinnati. The timing could hardly be more interesting. Eala did not immediately disappear after Washington. She carried that momentum into Toronto, where she reached the round of 16 before her run ended against Belinda Bencic. That meant Eala entered Cincinnati after a demanding stretch of hardcourt tennis, but also after proving she could handle the pressure that comes with being one of the players everyone suddenly wants to talk about. Her recent North American swing has been less about potential and more about results. After the Canadian Open, Eala acknowledged that she needed a short reset. She talked about taking a couple of days away from tennis and doing ordinary things that had been pushed aside during the non-stop tournament schedule. That comment may sound small, but it reveals something important about where she is in her career. The schedule is becoming heavier because her results are becoming bigger. Winning a WTA title changes expectations, and reaching the late rounds of major tournaments means there is less time between one challenge and the next. Now comes Cincinnati. The tournament itself is a significant stage. Cincinnati is classified as a WTA 1000 event, one of the highest levels on the women's tour outside the Grand Slams and WTA finals. The tournament awards 1,000 ranking points to the champion and has expanded to a 96-player singles draw. It is also known for relatively quick hard-court conditions, which makes first-strike tennis, serving, returning, and aggressive baseline positioning especially important. That could make this matchup fascinating because Ruse is not the kind of opponent who simply allows a player to settle into a comfortable rhythm. The Romanian has spent years competing against experienced tour players, and she has already shown Eala exactly how dangerous she can be. Their previous meeting came during the 2024 US Open qualifying tournament, when Eala was still trying to reach her first Grand Slam main draw. Ruse came back from a set down to win 3-6, 6-1, 6-4. That match is important because it gives this Cincinnati meeting a layer that most second-round matches simply do not have. Eala remembers what it felt like to be close to something historic and then watch it disappear. She had won her first 2 qualifying matches in New York and reached the final round. One victory would have put her into the US Open main draw. Instead, Ruse survived the 3-set battle and moved forward. For Eala, it was another painful near miss during a period when Grand Slam qualification was still a major career objective. 2 years later, the situation is almost unrecognizable. In 2024, Eala was ranked outside the world's top 100 and was still fighting through qualifying draws to create opportunities against established professionals. She had talent, but talent was not enough to guarantee access to the biggest stages. Against Ruse, she learned one of the hardest lessons in professional tennis. Having the better start does not necessarily mean having control of the match. Eala won the opening set in that US Open qualifier, but Ruse changed the momentum and eventually closed out the contest. Now Eala walks onto the Cincinnati court with a completely different resume. She has reached the fourth round at Wimbledon in 2026, including a landmark victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek. She has won WTA 125 titles, reached major WTA events with greater consistency, and most importantly, she has now beaten elite opponents when the pressure was enormous. Her Washington title was the clearest proof yet that she can convert opportunities instead of merely getting close to them. The ranking tells part of the story too. The WTA's player record lists Eala at number 28 in its latest update, while recent reporting around her Washington title noted that the championship pushed her to a career-best number 20. The exact ranking position depends on the timing of the ranking update, but the larger point is unmistakable. Eala has moved rapidly into the upper levels of the women's game. She is no longer being introduced simply as a promising young player from the Philippines. And that brings us to the biggest question surrounding this rematch. Is this still the same matchup? On paper, it is. Same players, same basic left-handed versus right-hand dynamic. Same Romanian opponent who knows what it feels like to be Eala in a high-pressure hard-court match. But tennis is never played on paper. The player Ruse defeated in 2024 was still developing physically, tactically, and mentally. The player she faces now has already experienced the pressure of beating top-ranked opponents in front of huge crowds and then returning to the court expecting to do it again. That psychological difference may be the most important factor of all. Ruse will know that Eala has changed. She will know that the Filipino star is more comfortable on major stages and that the expectations surrounding her are completely different. But Ruse also has something Eala cannot manufacture: direct knowledge of what worked against her in their previous meeting. She has already seen Eala's patterns under pressure. She knows how the match can change when long rallies become physical and when the younger player starts trying to force the scoreboard instead of simply playing the point. Eala's response should be built around the same qualities that helped her win in Washington. Her left-handed serve can create uncomfortable angles, especially when she gets the chance to open the court and attack with her forehand. Her baseline game can become extremely difficult to contain when she establishes depth early in rallies. But perhaps most importantly, her recent success has shown a growing ability to stay patient when matches become complicated. That patience was visible in Washington. Eala lost the first set to Pegula and then faced a player who had every reason to believe she could close the championship out. Instead of panicking, Eala kept building points, kept moving Pegula around the court and eventually took control. The final set became one-way traffic. That kind of recovery is exactly what can matter against Ruse because a rematch like this could easily contain momentum swings. The crowd is another element worth watching. Eala's rise has created an extraordinary connection between her tennis and Filipino supporters around the world. During the Washington title run, Filipino fans were a major presence, and her victory generated enormous attention back home. The Guardian reported that her success has helped spark a wider tennis fever in the Philippines, with increased interest in courts, classes, and the sport itself. That is the part of Eala's story that goes beyond rankings and trophies. Cincinnati may offer another opportunity for that support to be visible. The Linna Family Tennis Center is not Manila, and the crowd will obviously include fans from many backgrounds, but Eala has already demonstrated that her matches can attract Filipino supporters wherever the tour takes her. That creates an atmosphere that can become a genuine factor, particularly during the tense moments of a close match. But Eala has also shown that she cannot depend on the crowd to win points for her. That is another sign of her development. At Wimbledon, she faced the enormous challenge of playing on center court against Swiatek, the defending champion, and managed to stay composed enough to produce one of the biggest victories of her career. That win was not about a friendly environment or a favorable draw. It required Eala to execute under one of the most intimidating circumstances in professional tennis. The same principle applies against Ruse. If the match becomes tight, Eala cannot allow the history of 2024 to become part of the scoreboard. She does not need to avenge the old result. She needs to play the current match. That distinction sounds obvious, but it can be extremely difficult when an opponent is attached to a painful memory. The best response to an old defeat is not emotion. It is evidence of growth. And Eala has plenty of evidence now. She has already demonstrated that she can beat top 10 opposition. She has won a WTA 500 title. She has gone deep at a Grand Slam. She has handled rain delays, long tournament weeks, high expectations, and massive crowds. She has also experienced the other side of momentum, including losses that stopped promising runs before they reached the finish line. All of those experiences become part of a player's competitive education. Ruse, meanwhile, brings her own experience and will not be impressed by the headlines surrounding Eala. That is crucial. Cincinnati is filled with elite players, and nobody reaches the second round of a WTA 1000 tournament by accident. Ruse's career has included a top 50 ranking and multiple Grand Slam main draw appearances. She has dealt with the pressure of qualifying, the grind of long matches, and the challenge of playing against younger stars who arrive with growing reputations. She also knows that one strong performance against Eala could immediately change the story around this tournament. So what should viewers watch for when the match begins? The first battle will be the serve and return. Eala needs to avoid giving Ruse too many comfortable looks on second serve points. If Ruse can step forward and dictate early, she can prevent Eala from building the forehand patterns that have become such an important part of her game. On the other side, Eala will want to put pressure on Ruse's service games from the opening stages rather than waiting until the scoreboard becomes complicated. The second battle will be rally tolerance. Neither player is likely to benefit from giving away cheap points. If the match turns into repeated long baseline exchanges, the ability to maintain depth and recover position will become increasingly important. Eala's movement has improved alongside her confidence, and her recent results suggest she is increasingly comfortable staying in points until the opening appears rather than trying to create a winner immediately. The third battle may be mental. That is where the 2024 history becomes impossible to ignore. Ruse has already proven that she can recover against Eala after losing the opening set. Eala has already proven, especially this year, that she can recover after losing momentum. Something will have to give. If the match reaches a critical stage late in the second set, the player who handles pressure more calmly could have a huge advantage. And there is another reason this match matters: the calendar. Cincinnati is not an isolated tournament. It is one of the final major stops before the US Open, which means every match carries additional importance. Players are trying to sharpen their games, protect ranking points, manage their bodies, and build confidence before the year's final Grand Slam. For Eala, the timing is particularly significant because she is approaching New York with expectations that would have seemed almost impossible 2 years ago. The US Open is now a completely different experience for her. In 2024, Eala was one win away from reaching the main draw and lost to Ruse. In 2025, she made her Grand Slam main draw debut and won a match at the US Open, becoming the first Filipino woman in the Open era to do so. In 2026, she arrives as a player who has already established herself on the biggest stages. The progression is